in their task of finding the now stolen crown. The two investigators, Cleo and Trajan, have left the governor's palace and are now heading to the city to find the diplomatic office. Leaving Trajan to stand watch outside, Cleo enters to speak with Mr. Phipps, the department representative in the desert realm.
Oh, bother. Now I'll never know how the story ends. Oh well. Oh. Well, hello there. And who might you be?
I've been standing here for 5 minutes, trying to get your attention. Do you get many visitors?
Oh, law. I'm so sorry, my dear.
My dear.
Here, let me get you a chair.
My dear. Don't you, my dear, me. I am quite capable of getting my own chair. Thank you.
I like you. You're a feisty one, aren't you?
I think I'm going to regret this meeting. I don't think we've been properly introduced, Mr.
Phipps. Lancelot Phipps. I'm the, what am I again?
Really?
No, hang on. I've got it written down here somewhere.
You've got to be joking.
Yes. Yes, here it is. A pound of butter, half a dozen eggs, 1 loaf of bread. Oh.
What?
So that's where I put my grocery list.
Mr. Phipps, let me make this clear. I have been employed by Alicia, the governess, to investigate the crown of the Tyrant King.
Oh, lummy. Well, how can I help you, Miss?
The name is Cleo, and I'm a private investigator. I've left my associate Trajan outside, though from the sounds of things, you'd both get on very well indeed.
Why? Is he into knitting as well?
What?
Mater taught me. Would you like to see?
Mr. Phipps, I am here on official business for the governess, Alicia. I am not here to discuss your extracurricular activities.
Shame. I could have whipped you up a lovely woolly scarf in no time at all.
Mr. Phipps, I don't know if you have noticed, but we are here in the desert realm. It's hot outside. Ridiculously hot. I seriously don't think a scarf will do me any good whatsoever outside.
Is it really? I say, so it is. The barometer is through the roof. Lummy, no wonder I keep getting through so many towels. I thought the ceiling was leaking.
Why am I always surrounded by idiots? Mr. Phipps, please try to concentrate, if that is even possible in your somewhat clearly small brain. I am looking for information. I need to know if any diplomats have recently registered with this office in the last few weeks.
Diplomats. Which ones are they again?
Are you sure you're not related to Trajan? I'm beginning to see a family resemblance.
Oh, diplomats. Oh, of course. No diplomats. No one has been through this office for years, apparently. I've been stuck here all my lonesome for the last 6 months.
I'm beginning to understand why.
Eh?
Nothing for you to worry about. Now then, Mr. Phipps, I'm going to ask this question, and when I do, I want a clean, clear response. I don't want any fussing, no backchat, no stalling. Do you have, she asked, already knowing the answer, do you have at least one record book that any diplomat has signed? Have you seen at least one diplomat in the past 6 months?
Well, now you come to mention it, I did receive one visitor. Didn't give their name and didn't sign anything, but they wore a cloak.
That does not
Had
help.
some strange badge upon it. The golden gauntlet shaking hands with a silver gauntlet. I admit it rang a bell, but for the life of me I couldn't remember what it was. So I just sent them on their way with directions to the residential quarters for lodgings.
You did what? No, just no. Stop there, Mr. Phipps. Now, I'd like you to take a look at the wall to your left. What do you see?
Well, it looks like a golden gaunt.
Precisely.
Oh. Aha.
Yes, Mr. Phipps. Yes. It looks like a golden gauntlet, shaking hands with a silver gauntlet. Just for how long have you worked for the diplomatic office?
Well, 6 months exactly. I used to be in the Navy, you see, but they couldn't handle my style of navigation. I sunk 3 ships, all on our side.
Really?
I was lucky I wasn't court-martialed.
Let me guess. They quietly changed your employment, packed you off down here, where you'd be out of the way, because in their minds no one would ever want to visit the governor.
Well, I don't know about that, but Mr. Povey up at the head office said it would be good for him to send me down here to Gebelra. Apparently it would be good for his blood pressure to have me here.
Sounds like Mr. Povey is a good judge of character. Did you at least get anything from your visitor? Anything? What were they interested in?
Now, let me see. They did give me something. Where is it? Yes, excuse the mess. Now, where did I put it?
What are you doing? Mr. Phipps, what are you doing?
Searching for the scroll they gave me.
Then why are you looking in the plant pot?
It's where I keep the most confidential documents. You see, if this office is ever broken into, they'd never think to look in the plant pot.
And what about the safe?
The safe?
Yes.
Oh, you mean that big metal box in the corner of the room with the funny handles on the front? So that's what it is.
Oh my gosh.
I must remember that.
I can't anymore. I'm going to lose my mind. I can't take this.
Hurry up, Cleo. I'm getting cramp out here, twiddling my thumbs, standing round like a lemon.
Just wait there, Trajan. I'm trying to deal with Mr. Phipps, though if anything, he's about as useful as a wooden fire guard at the moment.
Sorry, were you talking to me?
No, I was speaking to my associate. Are you certain the two of you aren't related?
Well, here's what you might be looking for. The scroll the visitor handed to me. Sorry it's covered in soil. Here. Let me get that for you.
You really don't have a clue what you're doing, do you?
Now steady on. I'm not just a pretty face, you know. I once held the record for the fastest in my class.
Really? Fastest at what? Dare I ask?
Rather. It was the egg and spoon race.
I just had to ask, didn't I? Let me see.
Well, what does it say? Is it important?
Well, that's for me to know. And perhaps best you never find out. Although it does introduce our friend currently on the run. Oh, and yes. They were sent to see the crown of the Tyrant King.
The crown of the what now?
You really don't pay attention to anything, do you?
Well, I keep myself to myself. They tried to board up the front of my office a few weeks ago, believing it to be empty.
Really?
It was only when I stuck my head out of the window upstairs they realised the place was still occupied.
Let me guess. The governor thought it was empty.
Well, I never tried to leave except for food. Everything is paid for by the diplomatic office in Audacity. I suppose it looks empty most of the time.
Well, I wasn't going to comment. But the place isn't exactly up to a great living standard.
Well, I am trying.
Indeed you are, Mr. Phipps. Incredibly trying.
Well, I don't know how much further I can help you. So, will that be all?
Thank you, Mr. Phipps. That will be all. Thankfully.
So, did you manage to find out what we needed to know?
Oh, eventually, Trajan. Eventually. I think you should have been there, though. You'd have gotten on with them.
Oh, does he like knitting then?
You know, Trajan, you, my friend, are full of surprises. Come on. I've got the information we need. Let's get back to the office. And remember to wash your hands before you head in. Yeah? Once we've read this through, I'm going to go and see Marcus. I have some questions for him that perhaps the governor has not yet thought to ask.
So, what do you want me to do?
You can stay behind and clean the place up. I know what you're like visiting the prison. You'll be better use back at the office.
I think I'd rather visit the prison with you.
Well, you're not going to. It's easier for me to think when you're not in the background gagging like a cat with a fur ball. Besides, I know Alicia is going to pay us a visit for an update. I want the place looking presentable for her. I can't bear the thought of her walking through the door to see your food containers strewn across the floor.
Oh, she isn't, is she? That means I have to put on my best uniform. Again.
Look, I'm not having you greet her like you did when we first met her. I've never felt so embarrassed in my life when you walked through the door in that ridiculous sackcloth outfit, like someone who just scraped their way out of the gutter.
Well, I like that outfit. It's comfy.
Well, I don't like it, Trajan. When this is over and we get paid, you're using your share to go out and purchase yourself some new clothing. I will turn you into a professional investigator, even if I have to work my fingers to the bone to do it.
You're serious, aren't you? Oh, all right. When we've been paid, I promise I'll buy some new threads and clear out my old ones, if that's what will keep you happy.
Thank you. I'm doing it for your own good, Trajan, not my happiness. Although I admit, the thought of you actually looking like a proper gentleman, it does make me happy. Incredibly happy indeed.